Good morning, good morning, good morning, YouTube. Thank you for watching another presentation of the Solid Sports video blog right here on the Solid Sports and Gaming channel. I'm Troy West, and thank you so much for watching. This is episode 340, and today's day is August 20th, 2026. Thank you guys for joining me today. This ain't gonna be a long show. Kind of quiet in the sports world right now, other than baseball. We'll talk a little baseball. So we also do. We'll touch on a little bit of NBA and NFL. NFL Week 2 preseason starts tonight. We'll just go through the games. I'll get my talking points on certain teams. You see, Baker Mayfield is my thumbnail. I'm gonna talk about him and the Bucks not um, signing him to a long-term deal just yet. I'll get my real thoughts on that. And that's pretty much the show. So we ain't gonna be that long. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna waste no time. Let me go ahead and get through our MLB standings for this week. Let's see how much have changed in the last week. We was on last Thursday. Thursday is always the day I want to go on. So, um, thank you guys for being here this morning. Not going to be long. Thank you guys last night for joining me for Mafia Manavada DLC. I actually had a little bit of fun with that. My dad go signal one out, so I just went ahead and ended the stream. We was past the 2 hour mark anyway. So, but let's look at the American League East. Tampa Bay still with a 5-game lead over the New York Yankees. Boston still hanging in there. They 8.5 back. Blue Jays and Orioles in the bottom of the division, but still well alive in the wild card. Central, Chicago White Sox with a 4-game lead now over the Minnesota Twins. Cleveland Indians is still there, and the Detroit Tigers, who's been playing better baseball, 5.5 back. Kansas City is 13 back. American League West, Houston Astros, again, is the class of this division, so not surprising to me that they lead it. Still real tight, though. Texas, 2 games back. Seattle is 4 games back, but both of those teams under 500. Angels and Athletics, of course, is pretty much out of it here. National League East. Oops, sorry, getting the phone call. National League East. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Let me test something real quick. Let me see something. Hopefully I still got sound. Let's see. Okay. Do I have sound? Do I have sound still? Yeah, okay. I'm still got sound. Okay. Sorry about that. I know sometimes when you get a phone call, it could throw your live off here. Where was I? Yeah, my Braves lead the National League East 4.5 over Philly, so that's starting to shrink again. Like I said, as a Braves fan, I'm very nervous about the Phillies. Hopefully we can hold them off. Still got a long way to go. Everybody else is pretty much now out of it. Miami, Washington Nationals, Miami 10.5, Washington 13.5, Mets 16.5. So Washington's starting to fall off. So we'll see how that goes. I know it'll definitely be uh, um, a wild card team, but I think it's going to be hard to hold on to this division. Milwaukee Brewers, best record in baseball, 78-49. They lead the Central, but the Cubs are right there, 4.5 back, and then it's a big gap. St. Louis, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, 13.5. St. Louis, 13.5. Pittsburgh 16, Cincinnati 17. LA Dodgers, Mid first place, 9-game lead over the San Diego Padres. Arizona Diamondbacks, 10 back. San Francisco and Colorado way out of it. San Francisco 24, Colorado 26.5. So now let's look at the wild card, which is the real interesting part of this. Um, Yankees in full control, +9. Boston, the second wild card, +5. Then it's Minnesota in the last spot. And that is crazy. Texas, a half game. Toronto, 1. Cleveland, 1.5. Baltimore, 1.5. Detroit, 1.5. Seattle, 2. And then that's where the big drop off. Kansas City, 9. And then it's the Angels and the A's, 12.5, 13.5. National League, Cubs, +6. Philly, +2. Padres in the last spot. Then you got the Diamondbacks 1 game, St. Louis 3, Miami 4, Pittsburgh 5.5, Cincinnati 6.5, Washington 7. And then everybody else is +10. Mets at 10, San Francisco 15, Colorado 17.5. So that's your MLB standings. Don't really, like I said, it's so much baseball to go, even though it's getting towards the end. But there's a lot of baseball to go. So um, that's where we stand on that. So we're gonna go ahead and move on from that. Like I said, we ain't gonna have a long show today. Um, NBA, same kind of quiet. Um, there was a trade that I saw. This must have happened last night. 5-team trade. We'll go through it right now. Um, no superstars moved. Just a lot of um, very good to draft picks and very good role players that was involved in this trade. So we're going to look at it right now as it loads. Um, Everything gets settled now that LeBron finally decided where he was going to go. Um, so this is the details of the trade. So it involved the Cavs, the Nuggets, the Clippers, the Wizards, and the Charlotte Hornets. So Cavs get Peyton Watson from Denver, a 27 second round pick for the Clippers that's going to the Wizards. And they get Cam Whitmore from the Wizards. So that's what Cleveland gets. Denver Nuggets, they get a 2031 Cavaliers first round pick, a 2032 Kings second round pick. So I guess that came from one of the other teams. Julian Reese from the Wizards. They will waive Reese though. So that's Denver didn't really get much then. Clippers get Matt Strus. Matt Strus, of course, was a big role player for the Cavaliers last season and for the Heat at one point. Trey Mann from the Cavs. The Wizards getting, now we with the Wizards. The 2027 second rounder from the Clippers from the Cavs via the Clippers, and cash for the Cavaliers. And then the Hornets gets Dennis Schroeder. I still think Dennis Schroeder is a very productive player. So Charlotte gets deeper with their young core. So I think he helps them out a lot. So that's a little small trade that went down last night. Other than that, not a lot of NBA really to talk about. I'm probably starting in September. We start doing the pool preview, which I've done the last couple of years. So we'll break down the East and the West that way, since really divisions doesn't matter anymore. So we'll go group by group and preview that set of teams in the East and the West. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm probably starting the first show in September. Two other big news is sort of off the court: the Kawhi Leonard situation with the Clippers. Now I'm seeing here they haven't found any wrongdoing, at least by Ballmer, which is the Cavaliers owner. So hopefully this trade finally gets put through. Him going to Toronto, but it still just feels like it just don't feel like it's over for some reason. At least what I've read and everything else. So the Ballmer's been cleared. So that don't mean Kawhi didn't do anything wrong, I guess. Um, but we'll see. But I think that's good news though that this trade finally going to be finalized. Um, between them and the Raptors. Um, so both parties can move on. So hopefully that's the case. So we'll see. I think we'll know something before the season starts. Um, if that's going to go through or not, I don't think it's going to linger. They said, remember a couple of weeks ago, they were saying this could linger into next year. I don't think so. I think they'll find a resolution by then. Saying speaking of LA, the Lakers, of course, the Bus family sold they not the majority owners of the Lakers anymore, but they still own part of the team, and now they're trying to sell that. Jeannie Buss, of course, who was even before her, unfortunately, Dr. Buss passed away years ago. She was pretty much I'm gonna say the leader of the Buss family, the owners. I think all the rest of her siblings are brothers. If I'm not mistaken, they was involved with the Lakers a lot too. Um, and she still wanted to hold on to the stake. The siblings want to go ahead and sell it. So she's trying to fight that. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that. I guess since I've been alive, the Busses own the Lakers, so it's kind of weird that they don't anymore. We'll see what this new ownership group goes with the Lakers. Um, you know how historic that franchise is. Um, but the way they doing business now, I think I'm not saying the Busses did, but I mean, but the Lakers in LA, they was all about superstar. Even though Luka's a superstar, but it just feels like they just gonna try to just put a good team together. I think they probably gonna start focusing on the draft more. The Lakers always just pretty much got free agents. Um, but they got a decent team this year. The Walker Kessler deal from the Jazz that makes them better. Um, I want to see if Austin Reeves continue to improve. They signed him as well. Of course, LeBron has moved on, so Lakers in a new era all over the place. Well, ownership with the way they do things, so it's gonna be interesting to see how this ownership group um, handles the Lakers. But that's big news going around right now. But um, it is weird that the Buses don't own the Lakers anymore. Genie trying to hold on to it, which I understand. That was her father's legacy. I guess the other siblings is just like we ready to just to me live my life and just do some other things. Maybe she's not ready to let it go yet. I'm just assuming that's the reason why. Um, but we'll talk more about it if it's more news in the coming weeks. We'll keep an eye on it. But not a lot of, like I said, not a lot of NBA stuff going on. It's real quiet. It's gonna be quiet prior to closer to the regular season. But like I said, September we'll start looking into the groups of the West and the Eastern Conference. So groups A, B, and C. We did it the last couple of years. We'll do it like that again this year. So whatever the first show of September is, that's when we'll start doing that to preview the season. All right, so we got that out the way. NFL preseason. Let's look at the games for this week, and I'll just touch on some things that might jump out at me. There's some games tonight. There's a game the next couple of days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and there's a game Sunday night, I believe. Um, got Raiders, Texans tonight. Of course, the Raiders. A lot of hype around Mendoza, but like I said, I think Kirk Cousins is going to start the season regardless. This should be an interesting week because I think um, you might see more starters play this week. And then the third game, you ain't gonna see anybody, probably for no teams here. Niners and Chargers. Of course, the Niners just dealing with injuries again already. Um, Chargers, of course. Um, Justin Herbert. I think this is a make or break year for him. So there's only two games tonight, and then Friday, Jets at Steelers. Sort of Aaron Rodgers bowl a little bit. Aaron Rodgers, of course, played for the Jets for a year really, but he was there 2 years. Of course, the first year he got hurt. We'll see if he plays tonight. Jets, of course. Hopefully, they can just be a better team this year. Geno Smith, all the off-season stuff is behind him, so we'll be interested to see how the Jets look this year. Panthers, Jaguars, both teams were playoff teams last year, hoping to improve. Not much news for both of these two teams. Packers and Broncos. Like I said, I like Green Bay. I'm not saying they're a horrible team. I just think they a little bit. They're not in the class with the elite teams in the NFC, but maybe they prove me wrong. We'll see. Um, Saturday, so it's only two games tomorrow night. Commanders Lions noon. I seen the Commanders first game. They looked pretty decent. Detroit. I'm starting to warm up to the Lions. I was one of the ones that said I still think they win those close. I think this got to be if they do it, it's going to have to be this year though. Um, but it's possible. They got a very easy schedule, other than their division opponents. So it wouldn't shock me if they win the division. I might not. I still like the Bears because I think the Bears are going to improve. They got a harder schedule, but I think the Lions is going to make some noise this year. Commanders, we'll see. I want to see Jalen Daniels. Maybe he'll play Saturday. We'll see. Ravens, Vikings. I'm a Ravens fan. I admit that. I don't think we're going to see Lamar. We haven't played him in the preseason much. Maybe he'll get a series or two in this game. If he don't play this game, he's not going to play at all this preseason. But I would like to see him. Because I believe they get reps for the season. You don't want to pretty much be actually be the first game. But we'll see what they do there. Vikings, of course, Kyler Murray was named the starter officially. So I know he's going to get more reps to get used to the offense. Jamie McCarthy not happy. He's pretty much made it known he's not happy with the decision. So we'll see how that goes. Um, Bills and Browns. That's 1 o'clock Saturday. Bills, I think, very high expectations this year for them. I think this is the year that they might break through. But there's a lot of pressure on that. Browns, of course, Shador and Deshaun, just so much noise. I have no I mean, I think it's going to be Deshaun just because of the money reason, but Shador keep doing what he do. We'll see. He didn't play particularly well their first preseason game, so we'll see about that. Falcons and Colts. Falcons, of course, are the quarterback fight now. Tua did look good. So do that mean Michael Penix Jr. still have a shot? Colts, if Daniel Jones is healthy, they could be a sneaky team. But we'll see. That's a 1 o'clock game on Saturday. Most of the games are Saturday. Rams and Saints. Saints, I think, to me, is going to be the shocking team this year. Rams, of course, you know what they've done. Don't have to go through it. Myles Garrett, McDuffie on that defense. The offense is already intact with Stafford and the crew there. Saints, I think, defensively, they're underrated. Tyler Shuck, let's see if he can take the next step forward. Giants and Dolphins. Dolphins, they did look good in the preseason game, so we'll see. But Malik Willis, he played well. I mean, other than that, they didn't look good. Giants, Daxter Dart situation, he got hit last week. I don't know. The Giants to me just seem like they're distracted. From the outside looking, they seem like they're distracted. We'll see how they look when the season starts. Bengals and Bears. Two similar teams. Joe Burrow. They made some moves on the defensive side. I do think they will be a challenge in the AFC North. Bears, same thing. They just coming off a great year. Let's see if Caleb Williams take that next step. So both teams with high expectations. We'll see how they do during the season. Eagles, Patriots, interesting game. Sort of, they've been practicing together this week. AJ Brown just left the Eagles. New England, of course, coming off the Super Bowl. But for example, they don't seem distracted from, everything that happened in the offseason with Mike Vrabel. You have to go through that. But, yeah. Chiefs at Buccaneers night game as well, 7:30. Um, I'm gonna touch on the Chiefs. Well, let me just talk about the Chiefs real quick. I'm sort of 50-50 with the Chiefs. I just don't. I just think, speaking of windows, I just don't. I think they might be a playoff team, but I just don't think they're the same old Chiefs. I just don't. But we'll see. Um, I believe in Andy Reid. I believe in Patrick Mahomes, but I don't know. It just seems like they're not the same team anymore. Which is clearly Travis Kelce getting old. I think this will be his last season. Um, so we'll see what the Chiefs do this year. But the Bucks, like I said, I had Baker Mayfield in my done now because they didn't sign him to the contract that the talks are off for right now. So he's going to play this season on this last year of his deal. They did sign Vita though. They did sign the defensive tackle Vita Vey. Um, I think it was yesterday. So Buccaneers finally gave him his money. Um, it's like I don't think Tampa's completely wrong. I like Baker Mayfield. I think he fits they team very very well. Um, been up and down, of course, as Baker's been his whole career. Um, but the thing about it is, if Tampa, I think it's going to depend on how Baker play this year. If Tampa's in the playoffs again, maybe make a little run. They might go ahead and sign him because then you sort of in no man's land. But I think secretly they probably hoping the Buccaneers have a bad season so they can draft one of these quarterbacks next year. So I think that's their mindset. Hoping Baker go out there and sort of flame out. Um, but if he don't, that means the Buccaneers will be in the playoffs. So I think they win-win. So looking at it that way, maybe that's why they decided to do this. But at the same time, um, if it was me personally, I probably would have signed them already. I just don't see where else you can go unless, like I said, they fall off the earth and be a top 5 draft pick, which I don't think they are this year. So, but yeah, if it was me, I would have paid them. But I understand if you look at it deeply, I understand why Tampa didn't. They want to hedge their bets basically because if he plays well this year, they'd just probably pay him. If he don't, then you could draft a quarterback. So I think that's how they're looking at it. Final game on Saturday night: Cowboys at Cardinals. Cardinals are an interesting team. I think they're gonna be, like I said, I've seen some experts. I think they're gonna be really bad defensively, but probably be decent offensively. So they're gonna be a lot of high scoring games this year. Jacoby Brissett. I'm really rooting for Marvin Harrison Jr. Um, I love his dad, Marvin Harrison. What he did at Ohio State Jr. Um, I don't. I mean, all we can do is speculate. Maybe he just don't have his head all the way in the game, but he's too talented. I just think he's going to turn it around. Dallas, of course, the hype with the Cowboys again. They're going to be a great offensive team for sure. Defensively is going to be the telling point how far will they go. So, and like I said, Sunday night, the defending champion Seahawks at the Tennessee Titans, 8 o'clock. Um, Titans though, I just like the. It seems like they got good vibes there. Outside looking in, it seems like they got good vibes. Seattle coming off a championship. Of course, will Sam Darnold do what he does again? I think that's what the big question is. I think people still don't believe in Sam Darnold. Um, but I think Seattle's going to be right there again. Rams, Rams got the tools though. But I think Seattle, you can't dismiss them at all. So, um, but yeah, the Titans, like I said, they got a good vibe there. Cam Ward's gonna be up to him. Will he step up in his second year? I think that's going to be the question mark. So we'll see about that. So that's all the games this weekend. Let's see. Let's see if I don't think it's any other NFL news. So we about to wrap this up then. Like I said, it wasn't a long show today. It wasn't really much to talk about. yeah, no major news. Uh, Bad news though for the Texans. Let me just make sure I get this right before I announce this. And then we're gonna look at the WNBA standings. I think it's about to be the playoffs. Um, in about a week or so. Come on. Oh, he's a receiver. I see. I didn't know who Higgins was. So Jalen Higgins suffered a torn ACL. So that's a big loss for them on offense. Like I said, Vita Vey gets a 1 year extension. So they didn't really sign him still to a long their deal. So so it's just for this year. So that still ain't fully resolved. So all right, that's all. That's all. We'll start talking about college football probably next week. I think the rankings just came out. So we'll talk about that probably next week. Um WNBA, I'm just gonna go through the standings real quick and then we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Like I said, not much to talk about today. Come on, come on. It's loading. Yeah, it's taking a while to load. Sorry, y'all. Um, but I know they near the playoffs. Uh, dang it, load. As soon as I touched the button, it loaded. Okay. So I guess they play 40 games. I'm gonna assume because most teams are around 35 games. All right. So okay. So teams that clinch playoff berths. Minnesota best record of the WNBA, 30-7. Golden State second. Like I said, I think it's their first year. I gotta check that. I think this is their first year, so that's amazing. For a smashing team to do so well. The Fever, even though they're in third, which is weird, they haven't clinched the playoff spot yet, but Vegas has. But they're gonna clinch. They up. Way in the standings. Atlanta's in the fifth spot. Washington, New York seventh, Dallas eighth, and then it's like I said, Portland, which is a new team. I think they five behind Dallas. So um, it's pretty much only a matter of time. But it must be more games because LA is, let me see, about 8 games out by doing the math. So I don't know. I think they played. I guess they play over 40 games. I'm not sure. But that's that. Um, so I'm out. I'm out. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. I appreciate y'all for joining me this morning. Short show this week. Next week we probably have more content. We have more NFL news. Um, if there's something happening in the NBA, there ain't gonna be much NBA next week. But we'll cover the MLB again. Um, There'll be another week worth of games, so we'll see if the standings have changed or anything of that nature. But I'm out of here, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for your patience. Sorry about some of the stuff I canceled last week. Had some stuff come up. Like I said, I'm about to have a kid, so stuff just pops up sometimes, and I gotta go take care of my responsibilities, be there for my significant other. Um, it's been, I'm nervous, y'all. I'm nervous. I'm trying to get some things straight. But I'm hanging in there. Hanging in there with her. And I'm gonna see this through. Um, and I just appreciate y'all for y'all support, y'all patience with me. Today is Thursday, so nothing. I probably got to put it. Or I put together a voting thing for Sunday. We'll go live Sunday. Hopefully, I'll see you guys there. Hopefully, I'll be able to stream this Sunday. Just something came up Sunday, so I had to cancel that. I was trying to do it Monday. and just so hopefully we have it this week, but we ain't gonna do it that much longer. Like I said, once the NFL season start, we'll just be back to Wednesday nights and Friday nights. Friday night, not sure what I'm going to do yet for Friday night, but I'll try to announce it before then. Um, but that's it, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go. Hope you have a great week. I see you guys Friday night live. Thank you guys who came through, stopped by last night for the Wednesday stream last night. And I thank you guys so much for your support. I see you guys Friday night. I'm Troy West said thank you so much. Episode 340 is in the books. For that 341 to be next week sometime. I look at my schedule and see. It'd be Tuesday or Thursday. It'd be one of those 2 days. And I thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out of here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I'll see you guys Friday night. Peace and love. Thank you guys for the support. Um, you've been watching the Solid Sports video blog, episode 340. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace and love, guys.